Welcome back to WA Now and Then, and a new video. Now this time we're going to have a look at these collapsible fire pits. I've seen them all over the place on the YouTube channels, and those of you who follow Harry's Fire to Fork will definitely have seen this style on there. I don't know what brand this is. There's no brand name or anything on it. We just bought it from the internet. It was about $100. It is supposed to be stainless steel, and seems like it's pretty decent quality. It weighs about 7 kilos, so it's not light, but it does fold pretty flat, and it fits into the bag you can see sitting to the left of it there. Quite a good quality bag too. Not a cheapie. It's actually quite well padded. It's lined, some straps with Velcro on there, so it actually seems like they spent a little bit of money putting those bags together. Not a cheapie. They could have just done a cheapie carry case, but it's a very nice quality bag. Now the unit itself is a fire pit and a grill, and you can see at the bottom here you have clips that go over 2 of the feet. I've seen other ones on YouTube where they seem to sort of slot in and slide sideways. I think this is better because it's a clip that folds down on it, and you can then pick it up with the handles if you want to. You can then pick it up using these handles, and the base will come with it without any fear that it's going to fall off. The parts that make it up are the ashtray at the bottom, and you have the legs and the fire pit as one piece. The piece that isn't stainless steel is the grid that sits in the middle there. That's actually pretty hot because the sun's been on it all day, and it's a bit of a stinker here today, so I'm not going to hang on to that one at the moment. And we have the grill piece on top here. Again, feels fairly heavy and decent sort of quality. And the thing that's useful about these is you can actually raise or lower them 3 levels, and as you can see here, I move it out, pull it up, pop it back. So you do that with both sides, and that will allow you to raise or lower the grill depending on the heat you want. So we will be giving this one a try out in the not too distant future, and I'll just do a quick fold up now so that you can see how it packs away. So there you have it, all folds flat and goes into the bag very easily. No space problems, no squeezing things in. It's all been sized to fit very simply into the bag, and we're going to give that one a try very shortly. Whether that will be a new video or whether we will include it at the end of this one, I haven't made up my mind yet, so I guess you'll find out in a couple of ticks. G'day guys, unfortunately we're not out camping somewhere to do this little video. I would really love it if we were, but something I've been wanting to make for a while, and because of the cancellation of our trip with the coaster we never got round to it. It's cooking with the new fire pit that we got, and we've got a couple of steaks to whack on it today, so I'm going to give it a go. We did a little test with firelighters, and you got to see the style of the fire pit. And excuse the noise as usual in this place, it's always hell. But okay, let's have a look. I'll just get the fire pit out. You'll have seen this style on Harry's Fire to Fork, so you'll be fairly familiar with what it looks like. So we'll just pop it out and get it ready. Okay, so that's the basic setup, and we're going to put some firelighters, our little homemade firelighters. Little homemade firelighters in there. Now, interesting to note, this has been in the car when it's been pretty hot, and because I've left them in the little cake casings, you can see there's a little bit of wax there's melted out, not much. They've mostly stayed pretty much together, so that's good, considering the fact that we've had a few hot days and they really haven't just sort of melted to pieces. So I will probably stick one or two. What do you reckon? We might go with two this time just to see. Now that's actually way more charcoal than we're actually going to need, but always looks more spectacular when you've got a bit of extra charcoal in there for filming, so we'll just go with that. Obviously we could cook several meals on a pile like that. You've only really got a couple of steaks, but never mind. So that's our first test with this little type of fire pit. I'm not quite sure what the style is called, but it seems to do the job pretty well. You don't get the kind of searing going on that you do if it's sitting on a hot plate, but that's fine. You don't really need that with these sorts of steaks. just want to make sure that it's nicely cooked all the way through, but not overcooked, and I think that's pretty well done. Belle, of course, likes her steaks mooing, so hers is off and on the plate already. I do like mine a little bit better done than that. But yeah, pretty successful first test with it. It hasn't ended up with a lot of goo all over the top of the grill, which is good for cleaning. It'll just be a matter of wiping that down. And as you can see, because it's on a stand and it's raised up from the table, you don't have to worry about the heat getting into the top of the table so much. I put my hand there and it's just warm, that's all. So there's a bit of heat comes off and hits that, but it's not going to really damage the table. But anyway, that's our first test with this style of fire pit. Pretty happy with it, and we'll have a look tomorrow at how well it cleans up. Well, this is the result. Now it's all cooled down. Let's have a look at, you can see a bit of cleaning up to do on that. We'll see how well that cleans up. And of course the charcoal is pretty well used up, all turned into ash, so we'll just dump that in the garden bed. A little bit of discoloration, of course, you're going to get that, but yeah, pretty clean. Just a bit of a wipe over, I guess, with that. Yeah, this is cleaned up remarkably well. I normally expect to do quite a bit of scrubbing to get these sort of things clean. It all came off very easily. Whether that's because I was cooking it on a slightly lower heat than you would do on a barbecue plate, perhaps, and things didn't charcoal. It was just a little bit sticky, but as soon as I put hot water and soap on there, it all came off very, very easily. Of course, with the main part of the fire pit, you do get this discoloration. You can't avoid that. That's going to happen with everything. But cleans up very nicely. There's no carbonized material left there. Even the wax melted and went straight through, and that ended up on the base. That again was easy enough to get off. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that handled the cooking. Looking forward to getting it now and using it in the bush. As you can see there, even the base plate, very clean. Virtually no marks left on it, just a little bit of wax there, surface wax, that'll just scratch off. But any wax that came through from the firelighters, I just put a plastic spatula on there and scraped it off in a couple of seconds. That's a good heavy base plate too. A lot of base plates I've seen on cookers have been very light, but this is a nice solid piece of metal. So even though it's not going to get all that hot because it's a long way from the fire, I don't think you're going to get much in the way of warping or problems with it bending. It's a good solid lump of metal, and that edge on it really sort of strengthens it. Now it's got 2 clips. I've seen these with 4. 4 is unnecessary. I don't see any reason you would need any more than 2. That holds it pretty well. It's not going to move on there, and you can pick the whole thing up without any problems at all. And the centerpiece there, a bit of discoloration on that. Again, you expect that. It's not going to stay new looking forever, but yeah, overall I'm pretty impressed with this. Very, very glad I got it, and for at least some of our cooking it's going to take the place of the old fire pit. The old fire pit's still probably going to be good for doing rotisserie meals, but I'll have to set the rotisserie up with this one day and see how that goes. So that might be another test that I need to do. I would highly recommend this style of fire pit. Very easy to use, easy to clean, and easy to store and carry. You couldn't want much more than that, I guess. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and hope to see you back here again next Saturday. See ya.